give me a book on favor, God's favor. And the book is lovely, quite traditionally very religious, that we earn God's favor. And that didn't quite suit me, because I don't believe God has favorites. Do you?
I was glad to hear you say that. I was beginning to get concerned.
After all this time, Art, you're still getting concerned about me. No. So I went through the book, and I thought, what is God's favor? And it's in the Bible 153 times when I did my research. And I thought, it's got to mean something. And what does it mean to us as those who believe in unity principle, which we believe God is good, and we are good inherently. We are all good, right? But I want to go a little bit deeper. I wanted to find out what favor means from a unity perspective. How would we think of that? It's used over and over again. God's favor surrounds me like a shield. Not only does it surround us, I believe it's within, without, above, and below. That's why I mentioned that before. So I went to Truth Unity. Are any of you familiar with Truth Unity? It's a website, but it's also it's an organization of true unity metaphysical teachings. In other words, it's very Fillmorian. They don't deviate. There's a lot of writing, if you do some of the research kind of stuff that I do once in a while, is that there's this tendency for unity to become universalized. They call it universal unity now, which incorporates a lot of different teachers into it, more modern, more popular. And then there's the Fillmorian, or the truth unity, metaphysical, purely metaphysical view of the Bible, and the teachings. And of course, Charles Fillmore wrote what was called the Metaphysical Bible. It's a book about this. It was very, very heavy, very huge, and he went through the whole book in his mind. He was actually using a lot of the New Thought ideas that many of his teachers as well had learned. But what is favor? According to you, Truth Unity, favor is good, utilized through faithful obedience. Now there's another word I didn't like. What about you, Marty? Don't care for it, right? I remember when I was young and a child growing up in First Baptist Church in Jefferson City, everything was obey, trust and obey, and be obedient. And I was kind of a rebel, actually, still am. And I didn't like that idea. I thought it was punitive. Felt punitive to me. But there's another definition for it, which we'll look at in a couple minutes. But favor is the orderly unfoldment in body and mind of God within us. That's favor. The orderly unfoldment, what does that mean? That means, if you know anything about Fillmore writing the 12 Powers of Man, order is one of them. He felt that we are perfectly ordered as human beings, mind, body, and spirit, that there was a plan for that. That was a divine design. So favor also means that we have a divine design. When we're sick, we get well. We get better. We hold that vibration that we're going to get well. At least I know I do, and I know some of you in here do as well, very much so. So favor is the orderly unfoldment in mind and body. Favor, according to Truth Unity, is the outgrowth of prayer and meditation. I like that idea. You see what we're looking at? We're looking at a vibrational alignment. Aligning ourselves with Spirit creates opportunities that would otherwise not show up for us. Does that make sense? So we are constantly creating every moment of our lives, whether we know it or not, through our words and our deeds and our thoughts. The more aligned we are, the better things turn out. You know, do you happen to notice that? Just in little ways and in big ways. How many of you have something, you did that wonderful white stone ceremony last week? I intended to come, but Jeff City was a sheet of ice, and I couldn't risk getting out of my driveway, so I missed that, but I'm familiar with it. You declared something on a rock, right? Something either you want to manifest in your life, or something shift you want to make in your life, or change, or whatever it is you put on that rock, right, is yours. And favor is the thing that will speed up the manifestation of that, according to all the scriptures, which I won't go into with you. And according to the whole Fillmorian take on it, Charles Fillmore felt that aligning ourselves, he called that was part of the order of the 12 powers of man, was to be in alignment. It can show up in little ways. I know you have it happen in your life. And, for example, I had to deal with an insurance claim that I thought was to be paid. It hadn't been paid. They kept sending me notices, and I kept talking to someone on the phone and noting when I talked, and here I got another thing that said forced notice, you know, one of those you don't like to see. And I prayed before I made that phone call. My prayer was, align me with me, which is, you know what I'm saying, don't you? It's not something out here. Align me. And when I talked to the woman about it, she said, oh my, I'm so sorry. The sugar baker, that should have been written off long ago. There it was gone. And part of me said, how am I going to pay that? A lot of money. The other part of me said, I'm covered. You ever have that where the old way wants to come in and then you know better now? And so you move with what you know now, even though sometimes you don't, the old way wants to pull you into that maybe concern, a little negativity, a little hesitancy. So favor is the orderly unfoldment, and it is enhanced through meditation and prayer. And we all are familiar with Dale's book, which is based on the whole idea of listening. Listening and alignment. Wouldn't you say aligning and listening go together? Because when you're quiet, you're in that space, that God space is always with us. It's always available. But what I'm sharing with you today is to make it intentional all the time. Intentional alignment. I'm working on it. Any of you have a rather large challenge facing you this year? Anybody? Something major that you want to manifest in your life and you're not sure how it's going to come about? No? Yeah, I do. You know, we always have these expectations, these aspirations. But favor gives us a plan. Because first of all, that alignment, we're ahead of the game, so to speak. Favor comes to us by pursuing our divinely guided goals and aspirations. So when you are in the silence and you're quiet, you do understand and you get those messages, you understand. The question comes to mind, how am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? So, pursuing our divinely guided goals, whatever that might be, accelerates favor. It's simply over and over defined that way. As you take one step in faith, favor increases. Are we doing it? God doing it? Is it all the same? hard one when we look at things metaphysically, because I don't believe that God does things for us. I believe we work with the power, the omnipotence of Spirit all the time. God doesn't go in and out of our lives either. We're a pretty radical bunch, you know. Are you in agreement with me on those things? It's an omniscient, omnipotent, ever-present God. Okay. This brings us back to obedience. Metaphysically, how Truth Unity explains obedience is taking steps to what may be calling you at any specific time. We get hunches about what we're to do, and we go, oh, never mind, not today. Or you know there's something that is in your heart that you want to accomplish, you want to do this and this and this and this and this, prevent you from it. Because sort of how we work as human beings. If you're a caretaker like I am, you tend to take care of other people's needs and put yours on the back burner. Anybody else do that? A little bit? Yeah, we all do that. A lot of us do anyway. But favor is taking that step. And then when that step has been taken, take the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. But you don't have to know, according to Truth Unity, you don't have to know what that next step is. You will be led to know what that next step is. It's called, imagine that, listening to the still small voice. Trusting one more step, not knowing what that step beyond that is necessarily going to look like. And in that faith, faith is the promise of things unseen coming together. We actually create within our minds. We bring things into form, we bring things into manifestation. We don't use probably 1% of what we're capable of doing as humans. We just have so much that we can offer, so much we can give. And the more we give, I know that some of you are wonderful, amazing givers. The more you give, the more satisfied you feel, don't you? The more you impact someone else's life positively. That's favor. That's favor. It's not doing a favor, it's favor. There's a gnawing feeling. There's that gnawing feeling that some of us have, many of us have, of that something that before you die, you say, I'm going to do that. Anybody have something like that? I'm going to do this. I want to do this before I get unable to do it, or whatever. And you take that step. But the thing I found comforting about favor was that by taking this step, I get more favor. I get more of it. Because that trust in God, in the alignment. Sometimes we take a pause. Sometimes we step aside for a little while. One of the things that I know Wade and I are always big on this, and a number of people that we have listened about so on the last several months, is that sometimes it's best not to share your goals and your lofty ideas with someone who vibrationally won't understand. It's your vision, your vibration, your excitement. You know, wasn't it Joseph Campbell that wrote, "Follow your bliss"? So if you know it makes you feel good, it's right. The feeling is what you, and then we put it aside because this and this and this are calling for this individual, this. That's how life goes. Everybody who follows that dream, follows that, whether it's a small dream, it might be something like rearranging your house, it might be something like changing everything around, it might be doing something very different that you wouldn't ordinarily do, but it doesn't have to be, you know, going to India or something like that. It doesn't have to be like that. It's something that will bring you joy and more favor. Declaring God's unconditional love is another way to have favor increase in your life. Do you understand what I mean by favor? Do you understand what I mean by favor? Favor is, it's grace, but it's more. It's those doors that open. And so by declaring, this is according to Scripture, God's love, God's unconditional love, favor increases. I have been working on something as I've been studying this week and even before, to maintain that position of unconditional love in my vibration, no matter what comes in. No matter what comes in, and it's a choice not to get caught up in what's on the television, or what someone has to say about it, or what someone might say about your goal. Someone might say, the thing about the white stone is you don't tell anybody, do you? Is that how she taught it or not? Specifically, you keep that your secret, because other people's energy can get in and dilute your focus. And I'm not the only one to say that. There are many that say that. And I'm sure some of you know that about maybe people in your life. The best thing sometimes is just to remain quiet. And remain quiet. But declaring and exemplifying unconditional love, despite everything going on around you, increases favor. So I tried that. I'm working on that. In other words, Marty, you said something 2 weeks ago that I remembered. And you said, you're out by the car, and you said, you know what? Love and kindness is all that really matters anyway. And so, when you have a situation maybe coming your way, you can stay in that place of loving kindness. What does it really matter anyway? Don't we get caught up in things sometimes that are so meaningless? And we stir and stew about them, and we do know better, don't we? We know better when we do that. So loving kindness, respond with loving kindness. Oh, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's just, you're saying, but then the impact on the object of your loving kindness changes them, changes that dimension. Do you understand that's how that works? Of course you do. Of course you do. When you're in alignment with God energy, or source energy, or divine energy, whatever you want to call it, you're supported in accomplishing what ordinarily you think you manage. So when we really give it our all in terms of, I'm going to listen, I'm going to listen, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to keep moving as long as it keeps flowing. That's the favor that comes along. I said this to a friend I was talking to who was having a difficult time making a decision. And I said, well, if it's flowing, keep going. She said, oh, that's a good book title. If it's flowing, keep going. Go here and let it flow. Go here and let it flow. Go here and let it flow. We can hit a roadblock. Pause, take time, get quiet, and your answer will come. Maybe you'll go this direction a little bit, or this direction a little bit. Maybe you need to pause for a while. All of that supports you in that is favor. You act different when you act in favor, when you exemplify love. You act different. You feel better. You feel better. You stand out in the crowd. You're not all, you ever go to the grocery store and you see people who are just, and you just want to say, hey, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you know, hey, wake up, look. Well, sometimes I say hello, and people are a little less tendency to say that these days, but I say it anyway. How are you today? How are you doing? How are you doing today? How are you? Let's stand out, be light. People notice you more. Opportunities show up for you. As the affirmation today states, God's favor surrounds you like a shield. But we can take that metaphysically and just sort of see this vibration of light that surrounds us. That was vibration. Like I said, when we did wasn't the incense, it was the sage that day. Somebody that came over here, burning bowl, and then I smudged whoever was interested. I could see, after you could let go of your burning bowl slips and of paper, somebody had these auras that were just brilliant. Your energy field was bright and light. It's very fun to see. You might see mine sometime. It's just sort of, if you kind of close your eyes sort of halfway, there's just a glow around people. I saw it with Reverend Diane, and I also saw it with the Bull Lady, the wonderful Crystal Bull Lady. So you're lighter. You might not see it, but you're lighter, you're brighter when you function in favor. When you stay away from what we're all tend to do, benign comments or retorts for things that really don't matter. Talking to myself. As we raise our vibration, we attract more good, of course. We become, as I have mentioned before, super attractors. We just tend to draw people to us, or draw situations to us. Vibrationally, we're attractive. So what can you expect? Well, you can expect your needs will be met. This is from Truth Unity. This is from all kinds of scripture. Mind, body, and spirit. Your needs will be met. Every part of our lives is impacted by grace and the favor of God. When we walk in that vibration of love and favor, we're assured that our soul will go on, that it's never ending. Some of us, I believe that. You believe that? Our soul goes on. Our soul was before, and we're in it now. It's in us now, and then it's going to move on. Who knows? We don't worry about that. We don't worry. And when we're sick, we know we're going to get well. We know. I've been through challenging times. I knew I was going to get well. I knew I was going to get well. You were so worried about you, Connie. You knew you were going to get well. I know you enough to know you knew. And therefore your body knew too. So it's that beautiful favor that we have that we just know. We know. Some people immediately go to the negative, the worst negative scenario possible. You know, some people like that. Immediately. But holding that vision, holding that possibility, whatever it is, and knowing, talking to your cells, talking to your body, talking to yourself. Your body knows so much. And sometimes we put it through things that we wonder how it survives, and we come out just fine. Come out just fine. You always have a safety net. We're never going to plunge off the cliff. We're never going to plunge off that cliff. God's favor or love was with us even before we were born. Before we were born. According to all that I have read, I believe that myself. I don't believe things get cut off. I believe we're a soul that just never ends. Okay, so if you want to create something, you can't keep doing what you've always done. We've heard this from many different people. If you put something on your white stone, it's probably going to require a few shifts and changes here and there. I don't know what you put down, but I know I always put these lofty goals down, and then I thought, oh boy, now I've got to change this and this and this and this. The change is good. All change is good. You have to push past the fear of the unknown, and you've got to do something different. You know, that's the definition of insanity, is keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. Albert Schweitzer. You have to trust in God's favor. You know what to do, and your faith is unwavering. Then you are living in favor. So now, how do we find favor with God and the source of all life? And I'll make this succinct. Very simply, align your vibration with God energy, source energy. Release negative thoughts. Spill over with positivity. Try it with being super positive around anybody and everybody. It changes their face. It changes them. Somebody at the grocery store, the checker said she was so backed up, and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was busy and so on, sorry. I said, you are doing a wonderful job. You're doing a fantastic job. I couldn't do what you're doing. And then the bagger, I said, and thank you for putting everything so beautifully and separate, even though we were in a hurry. Thanks, guys. And you're like, whoa, okay, that's not so bad. You know, that's what we are. We're beacons of favor, beacons of light. And I can say that to all of you because I know that you are. I'm encouraging you to be even more. Expect a miracle. Remember that phrase I used one Sunday? It was from the movie A Beautiful Mind. I have to believe something extraordinary is going to happen today. I put that on my computer right across the top. I have to believe something extraordinary is going to happen. Maybe it won't be today, but it will be in the works today. You know how that works, don't you? Our thoughts actually create images in our minds. And it's those, we draw them to ourselves, what we have created in our heads, in our minds, our body, mind, and spirit. That's not me talking, that's many, many, many metaphysicians. Many metaphysicians. Commit to and maintain that attractive vibration. Meditate and be silent. Embody gratitude. Stay focused. Use any tools that may support you. This might be lifts you put up in your house. It might be little sayings you put up. It might be a wheel of fortune that you've created. It may just be something you stick on your computer. Remind yourself all the time of who you really are. Know you're supported, and that support never wavers. God never wavers in support. God's support is unending and unlimited. So you have some tools, you have some things. Most of you function very much in that way. I know that you do. And perhaps you can even feel more, how can I increase my favor today? How can I glow more and radiate more today? then I'm a super attractor. Let's all be super attractors and find out how much money it is. And so it is. Thank you all so much.